I mean, we don't go out there and practice for a week. We're in game week.
College hoops, number 3 Maryland, a game-winning three-pointer from Melo Trimble as the Terps beat Wisconsin 63-60. Listen to NBC Sports Radio on your local station, online, and the mobile app. I'm Keith Arizari.
This is KCAA.
Hey folks, Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. Maybe you've heard me talk about buysellmakeoffer.com on my internet radio station, Beatlesarama.com. Well, I'm here to fill you in on this enormously revolutionary way to sell your products online. You just need to forget about the way the other guys have taken more than their share from you when the sales were finalized. Look, it's happened to me over and over, and then I found buysellmakeoffer.com. They never charge you item fees. We just need your email address so we can let you know well in advance of the launch when you can load all your stuff to our server to sell. This is not an auction site. Just think of it as Craigslist on steroids. Using our resources along with Skype and videos, you just add your creativity to sell your items quickly and with no fees. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com and sign up. The excitement is building toward our January 15th launch date. I've signed up to sell my stuff with buysellmakeoffer.com. You should too. buysellmakeoffer.com.
As the owner of my business, I wear a lot of hats. I'm accounting, sales, and so much more. But I don't know marketing.
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. Our team can create a digital plan for you with everything from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about.
Whoa, that's a job for cleanup, which would be me.
Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
Hey Di, do you know that many people have no idea that the Carousel Mall is actually open?
What? Do you tell them that that's where KCAA is located?
Of course, but there's more than just KCAA here.
Oh, I know. It's a totally great place for a girls' outing. Here at the Carousel Mall, there's Mega Beauty Supply.
And it's huge.
Yeah, the biggest beauty supply store I've ever seen. And they have wigs and extensions.
Then there's Backstreet Beauty Salon and Daniel's Jewelers, a store, by the way, for girls and guys.
Yes, and Nail Fashions where they do waxing and eyelash extensions. There's Lisa's Threading. You know, Mark, eyebrow threading is a big thing nowadays.
I do know about Mr. Yu's.
Yes, when you're ready for lunch, it's Mr. Yu's Chinese restaurant.
Best of all, Mr. Yu's is right next to KCAA.
Yes, all this located in the Carousel Mall, right off the 215, the 2nd and 3rd Street exit.
Come visit the Carousel Mall. We're open.
For more info, go to kcaaradio.com.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
Welcome to I'm Mad as Hell with Lloyd Brock and Greg Simpson. Now, if you want to share your anger, this is the station, KCAA, every Saturday at 12 noon. If you're mad as hell at the government, politicians, IRS, your bank, a car dealer, or the court system, let us know. You may want to be one of our in-studio guests, or just call in and vent that anger. 1-888-909-1050 or 909-888-5222 locally. We may not be able to resolve your individual problems, but we will give you a forum to share your anger with our listeners. Now, join us at KCAA 1050 AM and at kcaaradio.com or check us out at Ustream. Now, here's Lloyd and Greg.
I'm not going to take it anymore.
Are you mad this morning?
Oh, yeah.
What are you mad about?
Mad as hell.
Are you mad as hell? So am I.
My daughter and my grandson.
Oh, no.
Now, listen here.
I'm listening.
This is what I'm mad as hell about.
Okay, I'm here.
Expiration dates on my food.
Oh, my goodness.
And this is from Consumer Report.
Okay.
I tell these guys, look, don't throw that stuff away. They come to my house. They look through the refrigerator and they throw all this stuff out.
Oh,
and I said, it's perfectly good. It's just ridiculous how these things, they're, I can understand the refrigerated stuff, it does get bad, especially if you opened it. But if I got it under refrigeration, it doesn't go bad.
No.
They said, look at this mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Look, it said used by so-and-so. And I said, it hasn't been opened. I said, it's perfectly good and it's under refrigeration.
Sure.
And I said, I'll eat it all day long. I was in charge of supply overseas one time when I was in the Air Force.
Okay.
We had canned goods that were 4 years old. And I mean, perfectly
good, sure.
I ate eggs that were 3 years old.
Well, that's a little pushing it, I think.
No. They dip them in egg keep.
Okay.
As you put the small end down.
Okay.
And they all
So
last
they say,
indefinitely.
I'll
You
be
put
darned.
the large end this way, they'll go bad.
They'll go bad, okay.
And
Good to know.
I didn't believe that. And then the guy
proof
that
is
was
in the
there-
pudding, right? 3-year-old eggs.
It was
They're
the
good.
proof of the pudding, but nobody got sick. But the canned goods, if they don't reach the oxygen, outside,
Sure.
they're perfectly good. The sea rations that we got back in the 50s were from World War II.
And they're still good.
And I didn't like the pemmican. Pemmican was kind of weird. It
had weird stuff in it.
vegetables, meat, fruit, all together.
Yeah, not
I mean,
too
it
good.
tasted terrible, but and then they gave you
Candy bar and a
candy
cigarette?
bar and cigarettes, Chesterfield and
Yeah,
Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strikes, of course.
They were old, and
That
but
was
I mean,
my
we-
brand for years.
What did I know? I was a kid. We just ate them. But
Sure.
this whole thing, Consumer Reports this month says confusion over date labels leads us to toss groceries that are still good.
Yeah.
Perfectly good. It says used by this date. They have to take them off the shelf. But I think that's a marketing ploy so they can sell more, and you got to dump this stuff and you got to get rid of it. And as far as canned goods are concerned, the
Yeah,
other
we've had
things
stuff
you don't
in the
wanna-
1990s, canned goods that were still good. We got rid of a whole bunch of stuff. My mom had stored a bunch of stuff that was really old, but we did the same thing.
My grandmother used
But most
to
of it was good.
can goods and they put them in the cellar, and they last forever.
Sure.
You just have to make sure that a can hasn't started to
Oh yeah,
pop
pop. Yeah,
Sure.
that's true, and that's true. And we got some guests in the studios, but we'll get to you in
What?
just a moment. But I wanted your feedback on that.
Yeah.
This is Dr. Richard Linfield and his wife Leilani, and we're going to talk a little bit about your project in just a moment. But I want to find out what Greg is mad as hell about.
Yeah, I'm just reading in today's paper, and I'm mad as hell. I'm opposed to this gun control thing. I think we have enough laws on the book to protect us all. We need to have gun control in the people that hold the guns. That's who needs to control the guns, because they're the ones that are going to kill you or not. The criminal is going to get a gun. He's going to shoot you if you violate his space, if you don't give him your money or whatever. But a law-abiding citizen, that's all this is to infringe upon. Well, the governor,
Obama,
Obama directed Brown, our governor, that now he wants added to the national database for the criminals. He wants to add their mental illness, criminal history, and domestic violence. Now, not all domestic violence cases end in a conviction.
Well,
Not
that's
all-
true. I know of a couple that didn't. I mean, they
Yeah, I've
they
known a
didn't
few,
really
too.
happen, and
You
so,
you get angry and you get called on, and then suddenly you can't possess a weapon, or you come
Well-
back from serving in the United States.
The problem with that is they can be hacked. And
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff is private information that never went out there.
Well, that would be in the mental illness, right?
And nowadays, anything can be hacked.
That's true.
And so psychiatrists are really up in arms about this because somebody who went to private therapy and they have a mental illness, they don't want that broadcast and
Right.
out there for anybody to just
And I don't
hack.
think every mental illness should preclude you from owning a weapon. I don't think that should be the complete factor for you.
Otherwise,
owning a-
nobody would be-
Nobody, yeah, because we're all kind of mental here, aren't we? Kind of, we're human. And I think
Well-
this is what these folks are going to talk about, being human. I think.
That's true. Now we can introduce our guest.
Okay.
And Dr. Richard Linfield has, he's a professor of philosophy, English, and world religions And Leilani Darling, Linfield, right? No?
Leilani
Okay.
Darling.
Leilani Darling is an attorney, real estate broker, and life coach. And they're co-founders of the Joy and Wisdom Center, Educational Renewal and Humanized Spirituality. Welcome to I'm Mad as Hell. What are you mad as hell about?
Yeah.
Come on. Everybody's got to be angry at something.
Well, one of the things I'll talk about that I feel really gets me concerned is that the spread of fear. I am mad that they spread that, because when they spread that, they make more and more and more. And then whenever people feel fearful, they don't get in touch with their true inner self, because it's blocked by all this fear. So that's what makes me really upset when they get, no matter what it is that's causing the fear, to support that and push it and on and on and on about it is not in the benefit of people in this nation.
Exactly. And I'm mad as hell about the same thing, about what some people call the epidemic of fear. Fear sells newspapers. It's like, if you want to think about what's news, what would you like to know about that's going on in your community? If you're like me, you'd like to know about, I need to know about anything that I'm really directly threatened by, sure. Obviously, like there's a tornado coming, or there's somebody on the rampage or whatever. But I want to read about the good things that are happening. I want to read about things that are people that are helping each other. I like to read about ways that I can get help.
That's on the back page, by the way.
It's on the back page, yeah, because they have set it up so that it doesn't sell papers. But does it really not sell papers? Is it possible that you can sell papers without having to stir people up and get them upset and afraid before they buy a newspaper?
Well, they did a survey and said that the number one concern with Americans is safety, and that's fear.
Yes, that's for sure.
Basically, and that's all brought about, as I say, the media feeds on that.
Sure.
Not bad news, but, here is a perfect example. This is today's paper, LA Times. And El Chapo now is in jail. Those people can't fear that anymore.
Right.
The Obama raises pressure on Silicon Valley in terror fight.
Right.
Now,
fear.
That's fear because he wants to prevent extremist groups from using social media to radicalize and mobilize recruits. And they don't want to share that information for fear of being hacked again, that same fear, that all these names and that data would get out there. So I don't know how that's going to end. And you turn the page and soul searching in Germany, New Year's attack prompts an uncomfortable look at the acceptance of refugees.
Right.
There was a lot of rapes going on over there with these people from the Middle East, and even the police chief was fired because he didn't want to admit how many people were involved in that.
That's right.
So
all
here
this
again,
fear. I mean, I don't even like reading about all that fear, because they accentuate how wrong it was. And if there was one bad thing that happened, what about the 99 that happened that was good? And instead, if they focus on the fear, it spreads the fear. So then maybe now 30 people are concerned about it, where before it would have been 1 or 2 people concerned about it.
That's
the
why
people that need to
terrorism's so
handle it.
effective, because that's all it does is raise fear.
Raise fear.
and here
Exactly
again,
what you're talking about.
the bomb factory was found in Brussels. You can go on and
on
on
and on and
about
on
this.
of all the problems, rather than all the things that are being done correctly, being done helpfully, being done lovingly. And that is one of the best ways to get rid of the problems, because as the society becomes more and more helpful, compassionate, caring, the people that are off, the people that want to do things wrong, even forget about it somewhat, move into a different direction, aren't as upset because people even care about them and have some kindness toward them, rather than accentuating the fear between the peoples or the problem between the people.
Yeah, and also if you look at just search the internet for refugees in Europe, you will find 99 stories out of 100 of people welcoming refugees, of the refugees fitting in very well with the society, contributing to the society, and so on.
I think the reason it doesn't work, though, is it's not ongoing. You know, you get one act of kindness or two act of kindnesses, and then you kick them in the butt after that.
We got a break for a commercial, but we'll be right back in just a few moments.
Wow, am I thirsty? Whoa.
Are you really?
Yes.
I think you should come up to Oak Hills Brewing Company, home of the best brews in the high desert.
High desert? That's where I'm from.
Oh, do you know Floyd?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His brother Lloyd. Yeah, I know him.
Say hello to Floyd. Founded by two entrepreneurs, these big dreams turned into Oak Hills Brewing Company. They have yummy brews, select ales, craft sodas, root beer, ginger ale, and cream soda for the kids.
How many?
How many kids?
How many
care.
brews?
I don't care how many kids come up.
Oh, okay.
They have 3 brews.
Okay.
For kids. Then they have 13 brews for adults.
Oh, love it. Love it. Love it.
I'm glad. Oak Hills Brewing. Mondays, 5 to 9. Thursdays, 3 to 9. Friday, 1 to 10. And Saturday, 1 to 10. Oak Hills Brewing Company.
I'm going up right now.
Do you know how to get there?
Yeah, almost.
Okay, well, let me just make sure. 15 north to the 395, past 2 signals, turn right on Poplar, and you're there. OakHillsBrewing.com.
On my way.
Thanks for waiting. Lloyd and Greg are back.
Yeah, we're back with our guest, and we're talking about a solution to the fear.
Solution to the fear. And one of the things that we live in the Redlands, San Bernardino area. So, of course, we're very close to what happened with the shooting in San Bernardino not long ago.
December 2nd.
December 2nd. And we also belong to an international group of people that are very much promoting peace in the world. And so when they heard about what happened here, they decided, we all decided to have a day that was love for all and hatred for none. And so it's become more and more popular, more and more. If I hold this up, does that show something? Mm-hmm. That's love for all, hatred for none. And so the whole idea about that is recognizing that there are problems, and whenever things like what happened in San Bernardino happen, it's easy to feel hatred for what happened, hatred toward the people. But we have to be real careful that we don't broaden it way too far, so that if 2 people did something or 3 people did something, that we don't spread it out over the whole group. We're now mad at the whole group. And so that was why we started this day on, January 31st, a Sunday, that we would have a love for all, hatred for none day. Mm-hmm. And that we're going to encourage people to do something loving on that day. And so, Richard, want to say some more about that?
Yeah, I could read part of this press release that we wrote about it. It starts off by saying, love is the one thing that can bring us all together. And I think that's pretty undeniable. Sure. We all know that. That's the only thing that ever has, you know. So to serve that purpose, our team called the Global Mission of Peace announces the first International Love for All, Hatred for None Day on Sunday, January 31st, 2016, a day of sharing, caring, and celebration. Now, what is it about? It's about people all over the country and actually all over the world. This our Global Mission of Peace exists in 11 countries.
Yeah, 11
right now.
countries. We have members from 11 countries.
Mostly in the U.S., though. But anyway, we're encouraging everybody to spread the word about this to plan acts of their choice that show unconditional love, okay? To just do something simple that shows love. And we're asking them to document these acts, put them on our Facebook page, okay? And that Facebook page is growing fast. It's really cool. I'll talk about that in a minute. But some ideas for showing unconditional love on those days is simply being kind to somebody that maybe it's a little hard for you to be kind to.
Our enemies? No.
One of your relatives that you don't get along with, for example.
They're dead.
No.
Well, we just did that with the holiday season.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
We got along.
And but we have now a whole year to be able not to have to wait till the next Christmas to do it.
Right. And maybe you know somebody who has been like the target of somebody's hate. Like maybe you have somebody in your family or some friend that you know somebody's given them a really hard time.
Well, there's bullying in the workplace or at school, things like that, and I think that's got to stop.
Yeah.
So if you can a good way to stop it is to help the people who have been bullied. Like find those people and make sure they know that they are loved. Make sure that they are okay, and that not everybody hurts them and hates them like the person that has made them into a victim. And some other ideas is doing something, just like doing a favor for somebody, helping do some cleanup if you know of an area that's full of trash, visit children at a foster home or a group home somewhere, volunteering to help the homeless, volunteering for animal rescue. Just be kinder to your own pet. Take them out for a walk that's twice as long. And we're also going to be talking to clergy about mentioning this at their worship services on the 31st. And we have a prayer that a friend of ours has written, which I'll read a little later if that's okay.
That's fine.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, we have a caller waiting.
Okay.
And we've got, what was that, about a minute? We can take them now. That's fine. Okay, you can switch the color on. Welcome to I'm Mad as Hell. What are you mad as hell about? Hello?
Is it me?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Oh, hey. Oh, okay. I got a minute, you said, right?
Right. Yeah. No,
okay.
you can.
We got an issue. A 17-year-old terminally ill child was forced back into abuse after a judge ordered her to go back to her father's house because she didn't feel a 17-year-old was going to delegate where she could live. Right after that, a restraining order was placed against the father and her mother. The 17-year-old got punched in the face and then kicked the bathroom window out while she was supposed to be taking a shower to run away again. We spent all night with cops and CPS just for CPS to say, send her back to the father. The deputy that took the report said that he could not order that. He would not feel safe putting the child back in the house, so he's not going to go to CPS request. He said if it was up to him, he would have arrested the man, but his sergeant stopped him from doing it. Now, her father has family members and friends in the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, and this has been an ongoing thing where we filed a report back in December for kidnapping and for spousal abuse, false imprisonment, and the report never made it to the DA. Evidence that we submitted to multiple people, to two different sergeants on watch, to people that to dispatch. It never got added to the report. I called Internal Affairs. The sergeant finally called me back. He claims that he gave it to the deputy, and the deputy never put it in or just hasn't had time to put it in yet. But it's been about a month now, and the DA hasn't heard. There's been nothing on it. The thing is that they ordered that CPS. This is the fourth time. This child has called CPS 3 times. Now, she's a 17-year-old. She's terminally ill with cystic fibrosis. If you go search Facebook, schwy.shane@gmail.com. That's schwy.shane@gmail.com. You'll find the post and more details. We're just trying to get our story out there. We're trying to get people to open up their eyes to the corruption that's going on.
That's a Gmail.
I actually have the 17-year-old here if you want to put her on the air.
Yeah, go ahead. Put her on.
Yeah, that's a Gmail address then.
Okay.
Not a website.
Hello?
Yeah.
This is a 17-year-old.
Oh, hi.
Yes, hi.
Well, welcome to I'm Mad as Hell.
Yeah.
And I can see where you are. And, sometimes these things happen probably all too often that people that are abused, children that are abused, don't get the attention they deserve. But we're going to give you our attention right now.
Absolutely. How long have you been abused, ma'am, young lady?
Yes.
How long have you been subject to this abuse? For your whole life?
For a couple years.
A couple of years?
And
Yeah.
you're, well, we'll try to, as they say, we don't have any power here, but the listening audience might have some input here. We need, as they say, to contact.
They can call us at our toll-free number is 1-888-909-1050, or our local number at 1-909-888-5222. And if you know of some resources for these folks, call us and let us know. And I suppose we can take your phone number and maybe get in touch with you after the show, or get in touch with you on your website.
Our engineer will take your phone number. But at any rate, Doctor, do you have any input here? What would you suggest?
What would you guys suggest on your loved one?
Well, you have to remember that you are loved, okay? You have to remember that you are loved, even when it seems like there's not a single human being that loves you. There are a human being that loves you. The gentleman that placed this call loves you and is acting on that love. And you have to remember, like, when people get beat up by authority figures, they start thinking they're worthless. You might have had feelings of worthlessness. Well, remember, you are a child of God, you are loved, and you are worthy of love.
Yeah, and one of the things that you can do even more is be more loving towards yourself. You are expressing that love whenever you reached out for help. That is you loving yourself. And just keep up doing that. Just keep outreaching for help and taking care of yourself as much as you possibly can. And knowing that, believing that this will work out because you will help make it work out in your favor. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, you're definitely welcome, and God bless. Tune into that inner power that you have within yourself, that you've already been using. The more you tune into it, the stronger it can become. And when you do things, you'll do things that are positive and not be pushed into doing anything hateful on your part, because that love is an energy. They know, science has tested it and knows that type of feeling of love is very, very strong and much stronger than the people that are using some kind of negativity. And so just know that for yourself and follow it.
And please leave your number with our engineer. And
I will.
we'll try to get back to you with something.
I'd like to
And
speak
my
to
mom
the...
would like to say some words as well.
Let me speak to the gentleman that was just on. I have a little idea for him.
What she wants?
Hi, I'm the mother, Jennifer Rosencliff.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
am
hi, Mom.
outraged at the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. My daughter got a physical laceration on her lip with swelling that paramedics saw, and they still did not arrest her father. He was so mad that he got served with a restraining order. She was asleep in bed, and he physically hit her to wake her up and say, "It's all your fault." My kid had to jump out of the window in the bathroom that's all the way up to the roof to escape her father.
Well, that he should
We've
be.
addressed that early in our show in September when we first went on the air. That was one of our first programs, was the abuse of San Bernardino County, the judge system, all kinds of system. We have a show, if you go to Ustream.
It amazes me. My daughter is crying out for help. Victorville Court was shut down yesterday for my daughter running in begging for help, and none of them did anything.
Can you take it out of this county?
Deputies.
Can you take it to another
I'm sorry,
county, Riverside or something?
No, it was in San Bernardino County at the Victorville Courthouse.
Yeah, they can't.
They can't move it out. Okay.
11:30 p.m.
Can they just keep reporting it every time it happens?
Sorry.
Get cops out of the house twice a day?
Yeah, I think that, you need to report that every single time. And,
Yes.
the same thing happens with spousal abuse, and they don't do anything about it, and that person turns up dead. Then they do something about it.
That's exactly what happened. I got granted a restraining order for me and my boyfriend, but the judge denied my 4 children the safety. And she went home and got popped in the face by her father.
Is he normally abusive?
12 hours the whole night, non-sleeping, in the parking lot at the Hesperia Police Department while they're dilly-dallying around trying to investigate it. She has wounds. Her father is a bipolar, schizophrenic diagnosed. He should be arrested right now. My children should be either in my care or somebody in the family's care.
Well, if he's been diagnosed as that.
Yeah, that should be no problem.
Yeah. And if anybody.
You're telling me. It's so correct. Just because he knows people in the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department.
Is that the thing?
His sister is the mother-in-law of one of the sheriffs, Lucas Milenik.
Yeah. Well,
Jasmine Sanchez. He is the godfather of one of her nephews. There's so much corruption that's protecting this man from abuse.
Well, at least
you're bringing it on the air. This is a good place.
Yeah, darn right. Yeah.
I
We're
need
here
people
for
to help
this.
me.
Talk
We are
to
at
a
our last of our funds. We're in a motel. The cops told me I don't have to return my daughter, but I'm not allowed to leave anywhere out of the county without her. We are in a motel waiting for Monday for me to go back to the Victorville courthouse. And, hey, let me tell you, Judge, you said no for protection. Guess what? She got popped in the mouth. What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
They're going to send her back.
We've got a break for a commercial, but we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
So stay on the line,
Thank
okay?
you.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Money, money, money!
Most of us need extra money. Well, if you own something of value, go to Rich's Jewelry and Loan in Ontario. He'll loan you money on jewelry, musical instruments, tools, electronics, and almost anything of value. Or if you prefer, he'll purchase the item from you. And if you need a great buy in diamonds or a Rolex watch, Rich can save you hundreds of dollars. Don't waste time. Go to Rich's Jewelry and Loan, 124 West Holt Boulevard in Ontario. Give Rich a call, 986-2604, and tell him what you'd like to sell or bring in for a loan.
Loans!
Rich's Jewelry and Loan, 124 West Holt Boulevard, Ontario.
Just when you thought you couldn't wait any longer, Lloyd and Greg are back.
Do we still have our caller on the phone? Yeah, we're continuing again. We're back.
We're back.
Right.
Okay,
I need
the doctor
all the
has a...
resources and help I can get to save my children from this abusive man.
Absolutely.
I'm at my last wish. We need help.
All right.
I am mad as hell because the sheriff see a little girl, 17 years old, popped in her lip. It's evidence, they could see it. It's, the paramedics wrote it down, and yet he's still walking the street with
Ma'am.
3 other children in his care.
Ma'am, have you talked to a newspaper reporter? Have you called the
I
local...
called a newspaper reporter. They say it's big enough and we want to help you, but nothing has came of it.
You have to call them back.
The small ones around here in Victorville are afraid of being sued.
If you call the newspaper back every day, you will get some results. And also, if
Call the
you...
newspaper back every day for my results, yes.
Yeah.
Call the Sun Telegram as well.
Yeah, well, that would, the editor, if you get that out, and feel free to call us again next Saturday and let us know what's happened. But in the meantime, if anybody knows how to resolve this problem, please call us. But
yes, I will. I'll call back next Saturday.
Right, please
and
do.
that's what we're going to do. We're going to call the press every single day. The sheriff's department needs to be shut down. It is so corrupt.
And we'll search for resources and what have you over the week, and we should come up with something, I hope.
And I got your numbers.
All right. Okay.
We have your numbers, thank you.
Yeah.
Can I spell out my email address so people know exactly how to get a hold of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. My email address is schwei.shane. That's S as in Sam, CHWEI .Shane.
Do it again. Say it again.
SHANE @gmail.com.
Okay, repeat that.
Email me there, or you can search Facebook for that email address.
Repeat that,
and
please.
we will
I didn't.
respond.
Yeah, he wants you to repeat it.
Repeat the deal slower, though.
Okay, the email address is Schwei, SCHWEI .SHANE @gmail.com.
Okay.
You can also send text. Anybody can send text if they want to help to 702-712-74 888-866-7474. All we're asking is to get our story out there. Let her tell her story.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate the call. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good day.
We're back. What do you think of that situation?
Yeah.
That's very. I know that there's probably 100 out there that have a story like this, and I've seen so much of this happen, and the system is overwhelmed with problems like this, and a lot of them will say, we don't have enough people. We've cut back on our personnel and our facilities, and that'll be their answer, that we can't get to that. But I think if it's an extreme case where we have mental illness involved with a child being abused, then I think that someone should step forward and do something about it.
Well, she didn't say anything about having an attorney.
No, she didn't.
An attorney would be helpful in a case like this.
Sure yeah.
Not that.
And if you can't afford one, they have, free ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
They had, what's that foundation here locally that supplies free attorneys or law?
I can't think of the name of it offhand, but
yeah,
there is one.
Well, one of the things about this is not only the abuse of the children and the abuse of spouses, there is so much negativity going on in our country at this time that is not appropriate for the way Americans naturally are. As Americans, we tend to be compassionate and helpful. Right now, people are just so overloaded and so, quote, busy that we can't be more of our true selves, our true nature. And in addition to going directly against the negative cause of a particular thing, we have to really look at the positivity. I'm not kidding when I say science knows that some type of a positive feeling by something can wipe out the negative. And that is another way, but in addition to directly going after the specifics of something that's wrong, the other end of it that we have to do is focus on the strengths of our American nature, of caring and compassion for other people. And that will help clear out some of the people in office or hired in a particular government position that are not they are not positive people. They themselves are angry, and they take out some of their anger on other people that they're supposed to be helping. And that has to be cleared. But positivity is the answer. Some people might think that that's fluffy and not useful, etc. But fear and anger won't get us where we need to go. Basically, overall, we have to make an overall commitment as a community and as a nation to be more loving. If we're more loving, when we're more loving, we do less wars. We're not willing to let our tax dollars go into supporting wars and supporting things that, again, create more difficulties. We have to make some changes, and that's up to each individual to make that decision for in their life, in any way they can do it, is to express more love. And I do hope, I'll mention it again on January 31st, which is a Sunday. It is a Love for All, Hatred for None day. And to just, whatever way, anything that you can do that day that expresses your feelings about love rather than being caught up in any particular fears or angers that are maybe justified, but come at it from a different angle. And
well,
in the Bible, if we want to talk about it, the main thing in the Bible, as I see it, and I am a minister, is the saying that God is love, and we are made in the image of God. So if we are behaving in our natural way, we are behaving with love, and it also says, if God forgives you as you forgive others. So if you want to be aligned with the energy of the divine nature, be forgiving. Even if you've got a messy situation, the anger does not necessarily help it as much as another angle on it. Take an additional angle. And with this whole thing of forgiveness is very important, and it can help free us, because I've known situations, I've done counseling, coaching over the years, And if someone stays, they get cleared up on a particular situation, whatever it was, they get it fixed. But there it is 10 years later, and they're still feeling anger and hatred, etc., toward the situation. They are no longer hurting that other person or persons in that situation. That energy is in their body, and it is hurting them.
They're hurting themselves.
And once they catch on that hurts them to keep that going, then they can free themselves into a different way, a different energy. Learning more about the energy of our thoughts and feelings and how they affect our brain, our mind, and our body is very important for people to learn more about that. And there's a huge amounts of energy, information about that on the internet. And a lot of people haven't checked into that very much, but it's do yourself a favor and find out ways in which you can be good to yourself so that you make your life better regardless of what those other idiots are doing out there.
You might want to talk about this.
Oh, yeah. I am writing a series, three volumes. 2 of them will be ready to be up soon. On the volumes, series is God is Love. What does that mean? What does it mean? And then the next statement in the Bible is, we were made in the image of God. What really does that mean? If you really begin to meditate about that a little bit, ask your inner heart. Ask your heart, what is that? What am I being called on to do? And one of the few of Jesus' teachings, because he had one main thread in his teachings, and it was love. And one of his teachings was what's often called the Our Father prayer. And when I was growing up, I was able to rattle that off very quickly. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That was nice, but did I really tune into what that teaching was? And I found in a modern version translation of that prayer into current way of speaking. It was that let's see, I'm going to read that. It was this is how to pray. This is the Lord's Prayer in a modern translation. Our Father in heaven, may your name be created with honor. Hallowed be thy name. May your kingdom come. May what you want to happen be done on earth as it's done in heaven. Now that statement is so loaded as a teaching. Can you imagine that God is asking us, or Jesus is teaching us, to be on this earth as it is in heaven? Can you imagine that there's hate in heaven? No. Can you imagine that there's fear in heaven? No. What we're put on this earth to learn how to do is how to become like they would be in the heavenly space. And if that was what Jesus was teaching us to do, it's obviously not impossible. He would have never taught us something that was impossible, but it was something we needed to learn and be committed to. I think that's one of the most important statements in the teachings, to really think about what would they be doing in heaven? What is unconditional love? How does it express there? How can I express it here? And so whenever we follow that teaching, can you begin to imagine how your individual world and your big overall world would be? It's a great thing to feel about, meditate about, pray about. Got that.
Now, this poor little girl here, I'm going to go back to that because I want to.
Yeah, we've got a commercial coming up and a break. We'll come back from that. So
go ahead.
We'll be right back.
Is it that time? Your car needs a smog check? Well, check out Quick Smog Check in Montclair. They guarantee your vehicle will pass, or you pay not a thing. That's right. If it doesn't pass the test, what the heck, you don't have to pay. So what's the reason why you're not calling them? The number 909-626-5436. You can also drive right down there now. 5438 Holt Boulevard in Montclair. They're open 9 to 5, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Do it now. No-wait smog checks at Quick Smog Check in Montclair. 909-626-5436.
Still mad as hell? Lloyd and Greg are back.
Anyway, I want to address this young lady again. She said the abuse has been going on for a couple years, and her abuser's her father. You know, the figure that she's growing up with for 15 years, where she probably wasn't abused. There was probably a more stable situation, or not, but she loves her father. I understand that, you know. I love my children, too, and to abuse them just is beyond my thoughts. But I understand that this little girl loves her father, and she has this love in her heart, and I understand that. Now she needs help because the father-daughter relationship has gotten out of control, where he desires to harm his little girl for whatever the reason. So she needs to, any listeners out here that are hearing this story, that have resources, attorneys, whatever, that can help this family get relief, that's what we're here for. If it's one family or the world, but we're here to help people.
Yeah, that's fine. We had, and that's true. But Leilani, what you were talking about, I think I mentioned to you before that I read an article a couple of months ago that one of the main factors in keeping a relationship together was kindness. Exactly. And that goes all the way, and I think that's what you're talking about here. And if marriages break up, I've seen relationships break up over the simplest of things. The food it's cold. She said, "Where are you? Where have you been?" Never mind where I've been. You know, there's always an excuse out there. A lot of times it's minor, very minor, and it's an excuse to break up. They said, "I can't go on this way," and that's not kindness. Right. That's being very cruel.
That's right.
And I think that, you know, if you think about that. And just walk away or just deal with it. You know, I said I was married for 53 years, and it was a series of compromises a lot of times. And then I asked my kids, you know, I said, wasn't I kind? And Dad, you were too kind sometimes. But, you know, I think that that's important. I don't believe in abusing animals. I love animals. I love children, you know, all these things. And I think it wasn't difficult at all. And I enjoy getting up every day.
Sure.
And normally a very happy person. Yeah, well, there's very few things that, you know, and my outlook has always been that way. And yet I get around depressed people and they kind of bring you down.
Sure they do.
So they say get around happy people and get laughter into it and just enjoy the relationship. And I think the same thing is true with a personal relationship with a spouse or a girlfriend or whatever, that's got to be a part of it. Yeah. That kindness has got to extend on both areas.
That's for sure. And I don't know if I did. You asked me to hold this up. I don't think I did. Did I do that?
No, but you can't hardly. There's no focusing there. But
somewhere along the way,
it's love, positivity, and freedom. And it says feeling the love, positivity, and freedom, and that's the series, Volume 1.
Yeah.
God is Love, and it's a very good read. And you've got some books out too, and you wanted to bring up a book that you.
No, the whole thing about kindness, Lloyd, I really think is important. And also the word love sometimes can seem kind of big and scary and whatever it is. But I think love has, what they say, synonyms. Synonyms called happiness, kindness, compassion, caring, gentleness, generosity. I think those are synonyms for being loving. And whenever we realize that, our whole world can just open up so broadly on how should I react in this particular situation, when it's not only to be loving, but it could be kind or generous or abundant or a whole variety of things to broaden an understanding of what that one word means. And it's definitely more than just sexuality and just the close relationship. It's how to be kind to someone at the grocery store. And
that's right.
It's broad, and once we get that as a goal of our own personally, we can begin to really change how we see life as an individual, and it's under our power. It's our choice what we want to do. Do we want to create a world that you enjoy living in more yourself personally? If you ask yourself that, I'll bet you say yes.
Of course. It's true. That did, this one. Since my wife passed, everybody's trying to fix me up with people and different women. And this one woman says, "What would your friends say about you?" And I said, "I have no idea." One guy told me, he says, "You're much too kind and naive and generous." And I said, "Hey, I'm not naive." I said,
That's right. You're not naive. You're not a naive person.
I said, "This is not the case."
You just choose.
But I've like my father said years ago, he said, "I trust everyone until they prove their distrust in me." And he says, if I didn't, he said, I'd become a very miserable human being because I would distrust everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
This way, he said, if I lend $5,000 to a guy and he doesn't pay me back, that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's
I don't ever have to. He'll never come back. So good riddance. But he said he's found that the majority of time that he trusts most people,
and it pays off.
They'll respond.
Yeah, sure. They do.
And kindness pays off.
Yeah.
I know both hands of the feet because I wasn't a kind person for a lot of years. And then I found out the truth and I got saved. And I became a born-again Christian. People don't like to hear that anymore. So they put names on it. That's what I am. I'm a born-again, fundamental, Bible-thumping Christian. And I believe the Bible is absolutely true.
Yeah, he was a mean SOB.
Yeah, I was very mean.
So God is love.
Now I'm kind to everybody.
Yeah,
and I get the same thing Lloyd gets.
Now he's a nice SOB.
But I can look at somebody who still brings the past back. And it's not good,
Right.
But anyway, God is good. And that's what you need to tell people. God is good.
Yeah.
And He will bring you the power to do what you want. And He's the only one to bring you the power to do what you want.
Hey, when you mention good, that reminds me. When I was putting this book together, I had to do a lot of research for some of the things, and I wanted to know what the translation of God was, because it started from the Bible, Old Testament, and Elohim, and what did it come to? So it came to an Anglo-Saxon word, good, and what that really means in Anglo-Saxon is divine goodness. God means divine goodness. And when it was first translated, divine goodness was in both the masculine and feminine genders. Mm-hmm. And it was only several hundred years after that it became only masculine gender. So that's very interesting to know about what God is, divine goodness.
God is loving and caring like a mother, not just like a father, but like a mother too.
Sure. Yeah, but you've got situations like we had here in San Bernardino with this crazy guy that went and slaughtered 14 people, and a lot of his co-workers had shown him love by having a
baby
shower for them, and they respond by killing
them
and
first.
That is really
they were insane.
It's going out. You're showing your love here in one direction, and they come back and they hurt you in another.
Those people were mentally ill if they did that.
Sure. But people also want you to apologize to these people that come out and kill us about being a Christian. They want us to apologize for being Christian. And I'll never do that. I'll never apologize. I'll apologize for the deeds I did before I was a Christian, but I'll never apologize to anybody for being a Christian.
No, not for being a Christian.
No. We've only got a few more minutes left, but you wanted to... Sure.
I wanted to just bring up, for people who want to express and show acts of love, kindness, generosity, and the websites that are involved here.
Yes.
One is a Facebook page, and if you go to Facebook and you look for Love for All, Hatred for None Day, Love for All, Hatred, that's R-E-D, for None Day, you will find a page full of people doing all kinds of acts of kindness and talking about it, writing about it, painting about it, etc. And it's very interesting and kind of inspiring to look at. And then so you can go there, you can read it, and you can post your own thoughts about the subject. Then there's also a website in which if you want to get in touch with us about it, and if which you'd like to introduce this idea to your church, for example, to give a prayer for love for all, hatred for none on the 31st, you can go to this website, www.globalmissionofpeace.com. That's globalmissionofpeace.com. And there is a place where you can send in an email, and we will get back to you. And for Leilani's teachings, Leilani has a whole website full of essays and thoughts and on the subject of God is love. And that website is called www.whatisloveandhappiness.com. Again, that's www.whatisloveandhappiness.com. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine. So he just handed me this. I think it's kind of interesting. That came in, I guess, on the...
Yeah, this is an atheistic, anti-Christian statement, huh?
Yeah.
What I can understand sometimes where there's some anti-Christian statements, because sometimes there have been things that people that are in the Christian religion have done that I don't think God would have approved of.
Yeah, really. That don't have anything to do with love.
That don't have anything to do with love and are then therefore not how God would see it. So I know that I understand why there can be some anti-Christian things that come up.
All
so
the time.
We have to keep it in context.
Do you think the churches have given God a bad name?
I think that I do think that sometimes there are some things that are said during church services that can be misinterpreted to encourage things that God would not be happy with. I don't think that's typical at all, but it has happened. And in the meantime, though, we always have to go back to the basic meaning of the nature of God and why we are Christians.
Right, and you wanted to read a prayer there. And
Yeah.
that's just...
Oh, that's a long prayer. Is that okay?
I'll read some of it. I won't read it.
Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes.
Okay, this is a prayer that was written by Reverend Ray Bernardez, who directs the Christian Help Center, a very large homeless mission in Vallejo. And the prayer he wrote says, "Praise be to you, our eternal God. We acknowledge that you are the God of unconditional love and acceptance. You have taught us to love our neighbor as ourselves. You showed us how to embrace the strangers and the outcasts of our world. We confess our humanity that often practices prejudice instead of unconditional love. We confess our negligence of loving our neighbors, strangers, and outcasts. O eternal God, grant us your heart that beams with love for all, hatred for none. O eternal God of love, grant us warm hands that embrace instead of reject. Grant us kind words that proclaim harmony. Deliver us, O God, from the dawn of hatred and awaken us to a new day of love for all. Heal our wounds, free us from the chains of generational unkindness. We dream of a world filled with builders of living rooms and dismantlers of fences. We long to dance together in celebration of our cultures, languages, and faiths. O eternal God, grant our prayers, dreams, longings, and hopes as we joyfully arise on this new day of love for all."
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
We'll invite you on again.
Yeah, have you again. And I hope this is a great success, this 31st. I hope everybody tunes in.
ABC Sports Radio Update starts now.
Wild Card Weekend is here. I'm Keith Irizarry. Chiefs and their 10-game winning streak visit the Texans in just about 20 minutes. It's been 22 years since Kcaa has won a playoff game. Wide receiver Jeremy Maclin on this game.
It's one and done, man. You got one game to go out there and prove that you belong and prove that this is what you've been working for all season. So I think that's the biggest difference.
And Texans defensive star Jadeveon Clowney will not play with a foot injury. 8:15 Eastern, it's the Steelers and the Bengals. Ben Roethlisberger says this about the playoffs.
It's a new season. Throw everything out the window and wire in a little more, focus a little more, touch the detail a little more, and just get ready to play.
And again, Pittsburgh running back D'Angelo Williams will not play due to a foot injury. Dolphins reached an agreement with Adam Gase. He is the youngest head coach ever hired by Miami at 37 years. And then ESPN's Adam Schefter is now reporting that Gase will have final say over Miami's 53-man roster, and he will call the plays. Moving along to college football. North Dakota State beat Jacksonville State 37-10 in the FCS Championship. Here is the final call from Westwood One.
Zeros across the board, and it's final. one for the thumb for North Dakota State. 5 consecutive national titles. First college football team that ever do that. They knock off Jacksonville State 37-10 to claim a 5th straight national title.
And we stay collegiate as number 3 Maryland in hoops. They get a game-winning three-pointer from Melo Trimble. Terrapins beat the Badgers 63-60. Number 14 Duke, no issues with Virginia Tech, 82-58. Marshall Plumlee led the way with 21 points and 10 boards. For the rest of your scores, make sure to go to NBCSportsRadio.com. I'm Keith Irizarry, and this is NBC Sports Radio.
This is 1050 AM KCAA Loma Linda and 106.5 FM Yucaipa.
Hey folks, Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. Maybe you've heard me talk about buysellmakeoffer.com on my internet radio station, Beatlesarama.com. Well, I'm here to fill you in on this enormously revolutionary way to sell your products online. You just need to forget about the way the other guys have taken more than their share from you when the sales were finalized. Look, it's happened to me over and over, and then I found buysellmakeoffer.com. They never charge you item fees. We just need your email address so we can let you know well in advance of the launch when you can load all your stuff to our server to sell. This is not an auction site. Just think of it as Craigslist on steroids. Using our resources along with Skype and videos, you just add your creativity to sell your items quickly and with no fees. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com and sign up. The excitement is building toward our January 15th launch date. I've signed up to sell my stuff with buysellmakeoffer.com. You should too. buysellmakeoffer.com.
As the owner of my business, I wear a lot of hats. I'm accounting, sales, and so much more. But I don't know marketing.
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. Our team can create a digital plan for you with everything from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about.
Whoa, that's a job for cleanup, which would be me.
Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Do you know where you are? Well, you've done it now. You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station. So expect the unexpected.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the final broadcast of the year. Boy, it's been exciting. You said you did 34 weeks of shows.
This is your week number 34 here in this studio. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. It's been bliss. It's been peachy.
It's been peachy. Well, we try to make it that way.
Don't start crying right now.
We're going to get a big peach and put it on the door. The sign of the peach. Peachy Studios.
Yeah, you got all these great albums in front of you. You got all these Christmas goodies here in front of you. It's amazing. Well, our wonderful, beautiful, amazing, decadently delicious yoga teacher is with us this afternoon to bring us our final yoga tip of the week for the holidays. Manaz from Samadhi Yoga. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Tony. Thank you. I've never been introduced delicious and decadent or whatever.
Whatever it all is. It's all true.
Yeah.
It's all true, darling. It's all true. You
Well,
are pure bliss and joy. So you getting ready for the holidays?
Getting ready. That's right.
Yeah, and the studio is just rocking. I was just there the other day. It was just absolutely amazing. I love the heat. I love the energy. I love the enthusiasm. I love the passion. And I was showing up despite though I was busy.
That's what you can and should do during these crazy holiday season. You know, it'll just keep you more energized so you can give more to your family during the holidays.
Yeah, and I noticed some new people in the class as well. It was quite remarkable just to observe and watch other people and how they handle themselves first time in a class, and then to get the reaction afterwards. And they just said, oh my goodness, that was amazing. I feel better. That's what they all say, right? I feel so much better.
Absolutely. You feel it with just one class.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's amazing. People go, okay, well, how often do I need to do it? And I tell them, I say, just take one class, see how great you feel, and that'll keep you coming back for more.
Yeah, and what a lot of them said to me as well when I spoke to them was that they were not aware of how important the breath is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first thing that gets lost when somebody's thinking too hard or focusing too intently. But being in that environment, because it's so raw, you cannot, last. I mean, obviously, the first thing we do in there is we start, focusing on deep breathing. But then as you go through the class, you notice quite quickly that you got to keep breathing. Otherwise, stamina is lost.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's what I had to get used to and be more mindful of is my breath, because I was a little nervous initially when I first started. And now I feel so much better. It sets your day up so that you can just go out into the world and be as blissful and joyful and healthy and happy as can be and bring that joy to other people. Let's get to our tip of the week, the final tip of the year.
Well, this may be a interesting tip, but a huge and very important one. And as I've been experiencing through the years, I realize people don't take care of this, but it's supplements. Supplements, which I know you're very good in this area, Tony, you and your lovely Katie, but it's so important. And people, especially when they're doing a hotter yoga or warmer yoga where they're sweating a lot, they need to take their supplements. They need to include electrolytes, especially because electrolytes are lost when you sweat, and you got to replenish those minerals. It's magnesium, it's potassium, and it's sodium. And sodium has such a bad name, but you do need it when you're doing these, hard workouts where you're sweating a lot. So you got to replenish those electrolytes. So I personally take potassium pills. I take calcium, magnesium pills. I make sure that I have salt in my diet, especially if there's any cramping going on. One of my dearest teachers, Emmy Cleave, she's like, just get up and have a pickle. You need to have once in a while, you got to have a pickle. You got to get that salt in your system. So, of course, not too much. But that is something that I have to keep reminding students. Coconut water is the best way as far as replenishing electrolytes. Not too much sugar, not too much salt in there, but really, really good with coconut water. And coconut water is so amazing for the system, and I'm sure you know this, Tony, that they used it in blood transfusions during World War II.
Yes, exactly. It's almost identical to mother's milk. It's quite remarkable with the electrolytes, and the potassium-sodium ratio is quite remarkable. We need 2 parts potassium, 1 part sodium in order for the heart muscle to function effectively, and this is why my Radiant Greens is so good, because it's got 90 minerals, 22 amino acids, and 65% protein. Radiant Greens with an S.com, www.radiantgreens.com. The coconut water, the potassium, salt is lost, excreted in the lymphatic system during extreme heat, so it's important that you replenish, just like we mentioned, particularly electrolytes, because it is a strong workout and you do sweat, which is good for you because it's a symbol of cleansing.
That's right. Exactly. But people, especially, again, as we get older, the body's not as resilient, but muscle cramps come up. It's normal with a new practitioner because the muscles are getting used maybe for the first time and maybe they didn't hydrate enough, and that definitely may be the case. But as far as long-term practitioners, especially as we get older, we got to make sure that all those nutrients are covered. And, go to a nutritionist. Find out what you're lacking. A lot of people are vitamin D deficient, as you know, Tony. But just making sure, again, that's one more element that you need to cover in your health to have a better practice, to feel better daily, to have more energy, to not be sluggish, and allow the body to function the way it needs to function.
Yeah, I wanted to give people an opportunity to call your office and to get your schedule, and that schedule obviously is on the website, right? Samadi, S-A-M-A-D-I, yoga.com.
You got it. Samadhi Yoga, just go to the schedule page, and everything is listed, all the teachers' names, whatever kind of class is on there, how long the class is, but everything is available on the website.
You have celebrities in there. You have working class people. You have moms and dads. Kids. Tell us about the kids yoga. That's exciting.
We do. We've had the kids yoga for almost 3 years now, and we started out just as kids yoga, but then we turned it into a family yoga class. Obviously, the room is not hot. We don't get it hot in there for the kids. It's warm, but we change it up. Ritu usually teaches that class. She's wonderful. She brings her own kids in there, and it's a good, focused, disciplined class, but they have a really great time in there. And actually, if we have a group that is similar age range, we allow the kids to come up and teach a posture, which is really good for their self-confidence. But yoga is going to help the kids as far as discipline, focus, flexibility, strength, just as adults. But again, the other thing with the kids nowadays, what are they doing constantly? They're on those phones, they're playing those games, and they're starting to create cervical spine issues, neck issues, carpal tunnel at younger ages, bad posture. So it is just as important for kids to get in here and do their yoga.
Yeah, I can tell that my posture has improved dramatically. I'm not slouching anymore. I notice when I walk, I have much more flexibility and walk with much more grace. I can tell when people are stiff and not flexible, or at least are weak when it comes to flexibility, which has been an issue for me, though I've played sports and done martial arts for years. I've noticed since I started doing the yoga, my level of flexibility and my movement has improved dramatically. I also wanted to relate, and I think I mentioned on another broadcast with you that one of the assistant managers of Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, he's been doing yoga for years. He just never seemed to miss a game and never had any injuries. And he said he attributed it all to doing yoga. And it's remarkable when I see the injuries in sports these days, whether it's basketball, whether it's in cycling, whether it's in NFL, or whether it's in any form of sport that's happening today. Those that do the yoga seem to have less injuries.
Absolutely. And not only just those professional athletes, but we have kids coming in here, 12-year-olds that are starting to play football. We just had the cross-country girls team from a local high school taking yoga and noticing that they were having less injuries as well. So it starts from the beginning. I mean, as soon as we're moving, as soon as we're committing to some kind of physical activity, that's almost bound to happen. But yoga will help you not only prevent the injuries because your body's going to be stronger, more flexible, but when those injuries do come up, the body is quicker to heal.
Yes.
When the body is strong, the blood flow is strong, the circulation is strong, the flexibility is there, the movement, it is a quicker body to recover, whether it's an injury, whether it's a surgery, whether it's a fall, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and also what I noticed, less restriction on blood vessels, which is quite remarkable because we all come in, we're all very stiff, and if we're not hydrating properly, if we're not getting enough rest, we don't get the right sleep, or we're not taking, as you mentioned, the right supplements or right nutrition, we're not hydrating properly, we are restless in our thinking. That leads to injury as well because if the body is very stiff, there's a lack of vasodilation going on with the blood vessels. But yoga seems to help restore that.
That's right. That's right. It restores, it prevents, it heals, all those things. And the thing is, too, also, people when they get injured, they'll stay away for a month or 2 months. And unfortunately, what people don't understand is, of course, you give that injury a break. Depending what the injury is, of course, you got to talk to your doctor. But really getting back into that, especially if it's a warm room, it helps that much more in the healing process because the circulation is going to be stronger. But if you get back in that room and move your body with awareness, slowly, carefully, you're going to heal faster.
Well, we so appreciate you contributing to our show. It definitely helps make our show a better show, and we can't thank you enough, Manaz, for doing so. SamadhiYoga.com for the kids, for moms and dads, for the entire family, for adults, for you and me, even grandmas. Anybody who wishes to improve their health, and I know that you're going to have a deluge of people coming to you in the new year trying to get fit and trying to get healthy, right?
Yes, I hope so. Sometimes people don't come off right in January. They'll wait till February, but they definitely get remotivated. And yoga is getting more and more popular, more and more accepted. But once they understand the benefits of it, I don't get why not everybody is in this yoga studio or any yoga